Welcome, heroes. Today is the day I finally am going to open these up and use them, the Speedpaint Markers. I was super excited when I saw they came out. I don't know why, maybe just because I like everything that comes out from Army Painter. I'm kind of biased, but I ordered them. I got them. We're going to review them, see how good they are. There's kind of three things that I'm looking for in this set. And the first thing is, silly as it is the portability of these markers. Because I have a tournament coming up for Heroscape, and so I need to paint up a bunch of these Acolytes. There is no time that I'm going to get them done. I probably need to paint them somehow, squeeze in the time, on the go. Maybe while I'm watching a movie or something with the family, or maybe even the drive down, because we're driving down to Vegas, and I'm in Utah, so that's several hours. Maybe I could fill it up with painting. I don't know how easy that's going to be, but so that's the number one, portability. See if it is viable, if I can paint on the go. Number two, I'm really curious about was if it's good for beginners or kids. I have a 7-year-old kid. He loves painting his figures and everything, but it's kind of a lot. It's kind of messy. So I'm wondering if these markers would be good for him, which also would be good for a beginner that hasn't painted a lot before, and getting into the whole painting hobby, it's a lot. There's different types of brushes, there's wet palettes, there's blending, there's so many things that you don't know about, and then when you get into it, sometimes it's overwhelming. So if these are like super easy and simple, that'd be great. And lastly, are they faster than using a brush, since there's, again, the setup, the cleanup, you know, the thinning of the paints, and there's a lot of things that go into using brushes as well. So I'm wondering if these markers could be faster too. So that's what we're going to try to figure out. Join me on this adventure, because I will be going places, because we're going to be really testing that portability. So let's see where I end up. Okay, just a nice simple box. So what we got inside. Cool. Markers. You may have noticed some of them look like they've been opened and used, which I did use them a little bit. So that's why they're like that. This is one that, nope. This one has not been used. So you can see it's just nice and a clean tip. Hasn't been used. They're super easy though. You literally take the cap off, flip it around, and then it has this area that it sits on. So the tip doesn't actually like smash into that. It kind of looked like it was going to, but it really doesn't. And then when you press that in, you can see it pumps the paint down until it gets all the way in there. And you just kind of hold it and it slowly seeps down, or you can kind of bump it. I haven't really decided what's more effective. I think just holding it's just fine. But yeah, you can see it working its way down until it completely gets it all saturated, something like this one. Yeah, so this one you can see it's all saturated and it paints. So real simple. It's also nice too, it does come with a whole bunch of replacement tips. So if they dry out or whatever, you can put a new one, or if they get ruined, you can put in another one. And we got 10 different colors, so pretty cool. For the most part, you can paint up most of the stuff. Real simple, like that. That's pretty much all there is to it. And then we have all the colors. Well, this tells you how to do it. And then recommendations, prime it, you know, white or gray or something. I did prep some of these guys up to do, and these I did a cream color, like a bone color. And then I did a zenithal with a white, so I think they'll paint well. And I was also taking a look in this little guy here, and it looks like there's actually going to be 28 are going to be the markers. So we have 10 of the colors, so they're coming out with another 18 of the colors. And in here you can see they have a little mark where all the different colors will be in markers. So should have a good range. You know, you're not going to hit every shade, but we're going to get all of the most important colors. Let's start painting. All right, first test place of the couch. That's where I'm at. I'm on the couch. I got my mini And I got my marker, some blood red to do his cape. And what am I doing while I'm on the couch? We're watching The Grinch. I'm gonna use blood red for the capes. This goes on just like all the other speed paints where you want to work an area relatively fast because it dries pretty fast, and if you go over dried speed paint already, it kind of smears and does weird things. Oh, maybe while I wait to queue up to play some more rivals, I can paint up the bone on him. I'm gonna use the palette bone. Seems like a good color for it. I think we'll do these all bone, and I'm probably gonna do a different color on like the skin part, but I'm gonna put bone down first on top of it or under it, and then we'll see what color we use for the actual skin part. Oh, my match is starting. Gotta do all these bones.
3, 2, 1.
Well, I'm in my car waiting for a meeting. So I brought my pen and my figure, so we're gonna paint up all the rope now. There you go. Yeah, check that out. All right, let's see if I can paint some of that there. Sorry for the angle. But yeah, we're just gonna sit in the car and paint up for a bit. The rope's on here. So another convenient thing, you know, just I got 5 or so minutes, so I can paint with this. The really nice thing is, like, yeah, there's no mess. There's no setup. There's no cleanup. You just put the cap back on, and it's ready to go whenever. It doesn't really dry out. So pretty cool that I can do this for a few minutes. Anyways, let's see where else I end up. Okay, we need some contrast between the bone and the wing membrane. So we're gonna do something like this using the gray, the Gravelord gray. So we'll just put that all over on the membrane, and that should give us some good contrast. I got the wings all done. I'm gonna do some gray in these sleeves just to darken it up a bit, because I think it'll look good. All right, they are all done. They look really good, honestly, for the amount of time I spent on them and where I did the painting, which sometimes, like in a car or on the couch, doesn't seem ideal, but I think they look really good, honestly. I liked them. So let's go over the 3 points that we originally had and see how well they stacked up and what I ultimately think about them, and what do you think about them? Let me know in the comments. How do you think these guys turned out? Okay, so let's answer those 3 questions that I asked earlier about these markers. So the first category was portability. Are these portable? Like, is that a gimmick or is it actually something you could use? And the answer, I think, is yes. You saw where I was doing it on the couch, in the car, at the computer. And I would say, yes, they're very portable. And you can paint with them just about anywhere. because there's nothing you need other than the marker and the figure. And so you can paint anywhere. So yes, it checks off on that portability, and I don't think it's a gimmick. The place that I'll probably do that the most though, maybe the couch, or maybe if I go on vacation ever, maybe I take it because I might have some downtime, so I could do some painting there. All right, number 2, is it beginner friendly? And I would say most definitely it's good for beginners because there's not much to them. It's just the marker and your mini. And so it makes it really easy to just, pop the lid off, prime it up, and then get to painting. And there's no water, there's no wet palette, there's no thinning, there's none of that, where, yes, there's some things that are really awesome about paintbrushes, which honestly, at the end of the day, I do prefer, but for a beginner getting into the painting world, I would recommend these because they'll make it easy. They'll learn a lot of things about paint. And then if they want to go deeper into it, they go ahead and get a paintbrush and wet palette and all those things. So yes, beginner friendly for sure. 3rd was speed. Are these faster than painting with a brush? And it's yes and no is the answer. So if you had 1 minute to paint a part of your miniature with a brush or with the marker is definitely faster because you can do that, because with a paintbrush, you're gonna have to get your brushes, get your setup, get your paint on the palette or get your paint in a little dish, and then you'll paint an area, and then you got to clean up because if you leave for 30 minutes to an hour, you don't want your paintbrush to get all stale and leave paint in it. So there's a whole aspect there that if you're doing a short amount of time painting, these are better. Now they're not faster, but just that aspect of the setup of a regular brush versus the marker wins in a very short stint. Now if you were to go, oh, you have an hour to paint, I think the brush is faster. Speed, yes. For certain circumstances, which that's how most tools are. I do woodworking and I have a chop saw and I have a table saw, and they both cut wood, but they cut it in a different way. So they have different uses even though they cut wood. So again, it's just another tool you can add to your arsenal and use it in certain ways. One way I see very helpful maybe is you are painting most of your miniature with a brush, but then there's just a few spots, small and easy, and you don't want to just drop a whole bunch of paint onto your palette, and you just grab one of these and just hit that one little spot and then it's done. So yeah, there's a lot of pros, and of course there's cons to everything. And let me show you probably the biggest con that I think these markers have. As you can see with this one, we pretty much were able to reach everywhere with the marker, no problem at all. This one, almost everywhere. There's a few little spots just down in this cracked area. You can see there's a little bit of gray still in there. And this one was the worst one. You can see I couldn't get back in there for the wing area, as well as down in here. It's hard to tell, but down there I couldn't get either. So both the wings in the back and where the arms are, and back here too, look at all that in there. Really hard to reach that. Yeah, so pros and cons. Overall though, I would recommend these for beginners. I do have an affiliate link in the bottom if you want to use that. It goes to Amazon and stuff. I'm not sponsored by any means by Army Painter. And also a great thank you to Renegade because they provided me with these awesome Acolyte miniatures to paint up for you. And again, I'm not sponsored, but I do have affiliate links for those too if you want to check those out. Lastly, if you made it this far, I am doing channel giveaways. And for details on that, you have to go to my Discord. There is a link in the description. And it varies, but probably monthly giveaways is pretty normal. So check those out. It would be silly if I didn't ask, but like and subscribe. If you like these types of videos and you want to see more, go ahead and hit the notification as well. And thank you for watching. Be the hero game night.